stopped since she gone?
We don't really post on there, cause it's kind of like we had like a kind of really a bad breakup.
I'll definitely follow it. Send me the name.
But we're gonna I told me and Peter we can start a new one. You know, like just because we don't have a person per se, you know, I'm still poly, we still poly.
Who was more hurt between the two?
Who was more hurt about it?
What do you say? From your perspective.
Of the three of y'all, yeah, that's a good question.
Well, obviously she was hurt, but I'm saying like
I
between
think
her
me, you know, like because I really wanted it to work, like so I was like I was bending more than I should have. You know, like being that like me and my husband we've been married going on like July 29th will be 18 years.
Yeah, they've been together forever. Y'all been in high school, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, you talking about like we've been together 20 something years, been married almost 18 years. So it's like, coming into relationship, I think that she kind of like was like understood that, but once the relationship got to going, I think like the respect kind of like wasn't there, you know, meaning like.
So she didn't respect your position as his wife.
Right, like she, like I'm his wife too, you know, like you know, yeah, yeah.
But it happens.
And like I said, like I was more than willing I was more than willing to like, you know, like I understood that. I understood what I was signing myself up for. So like I understood that you also have to have the relationship. I understand that, you know, like we are sharing this individual, this is also your husband, blah blah blah, you know, like like so I kinda understood those things. I think more so like I was more on a like the wife level and she kinda just wanted to be like a girlfriend, like a fun girl.
Oh.
So
Okay.
like,
so she didn't really want the responsibilities that came with being his co-wife.
right.
She just wanted to come in for the fun parts.
Right.
So do you think that y'all moving together as a unit was kind of the beginning of the end, or do you think it was better when y'all didn't live together? Or
So we jumped into it too fast.
Okay.
Like so like
I get that.
we all moved in together like 2 or 3 months after we agreed that we were gonna do this.
Okay, that's
So
true commitment though.
It was kind of like, and I was kind of like, I was gonna say like my mom knows, but
She don't know all the juicy details.
So it was like for me, like we used to do threesomes or whatever. So at a point, it kind of got to like where like I kind of like I'm a clean with my body. So like if I'm not out here going having random sex with different guys, why would I want that?
Let her do it.
Yeah,
oh,
you know.
See, I get
so
that now. That makes
so
sense.
it was just like, or like when you're doing like threesomes, like you don't have no commitment to this person. Like I just can't do that. You know, like so like I used to always say like. The only way I'll be with this shit if like we get like a girlfriend and she gotta be our girlfriend, like she came at, you know, like, and then in our lap and it was just like, so I kind of like fell head over here. It's like, okay, bet. And she was kind of like in this situation already, like she was fresh up here. Her little moving situation wasn't the best, the situation that she was in. So I'm like, oh shit, you come stay with us? And she kind of thought about it, and I think it was like really a way out of her situation that she was in, so she was like with it. Now we all work together, and so that was kind of like a tricky part too. Well, in the beginning they worked together. I still had my corporate jobs, and I was working. I was transitioning out of my corporate job working into hair. So I had started back working in like Great Clips, Super Clips, all them type of places. And like my husband is more on like the financial thing, like it gotta make math. The math gotta make sense. So it was like, okay, 3 adults, 3 working adults, this how we finna split this.
Everything should be thirds, right?
You know, or like he took the majority of, you know, the cost. Like, you know, as a man, you know, he was like, I'll tell you, he was like, you give me this a month, you give me this a month, you know, and he was stacking it.
Okay.
You know, like, so it was like, okay, we all gonna go into business together. We all gonna, you know, like, so there are certain things, like, let's say, like in the time she wanted a new car, he was like, now it's time to get a new car, you know, and it's kind of like, I understood, because, you know, like, I know,
Like,
you know,
Sacrifice,
and
yeah.
she was kind of like,
Yeah, then you got to sacrifice for the bigger
I would
picture.
think that too. Like, who the hell you think you're talking to?
you know, so it was kind of, it was a lot of them type of situations, grocery shopping just became an issue. Like, hold on, like, you know, like, because I initially take all the role in cooking, grocery shopping, this, that, you know, like, and I started feeling like, well, what are you
What you doing? So did it start to feel like you had another child? Or
It felt, it not another child, it just felt like, y'all ever seen that movie, I can't think of the name of it, he was like, Ashtray Bitch? It
yeah.
kind of started feeling like that.
Yeah.
It was like, I cook, I make plates, and y'all like just be sitting watching the game. And like, I'm making you a plate.
So you feel like mommy the maid.
Yeah,
Like, oh, why is you here?
like why am I sharing all this with you, you know, like, and you, oh, thank you,
So
know,
she
like,
wasn't sharing the responsibility.
Or taking the initiative.
yeah, so she went like, so when it was time to be served, you know, it was like, okay, now you fall into boy mode, you know, it was like I had a whole nother husband. It felt like she wanted to watch the game, she wanted to drink beer, she wanted to sit outside with the guys, you know, holidays, I'm in the kitchen cooking by myself. My mom, she's very opinionated. Like, why you the only one in the kitchen? I'm like, Ma, just,
Right.
I'm just saying, why you the only one in here though?
Right, because you ain't the only
I'd
wife.
be like,
So
Mom,
both of the wives should be out here.
Mama,
I
just,
get it.
I'm just saying. So
I
I,
get it.
just have to like, Mama, just let me handle it. I can handle it. My mom needs to be snapping.
Because ain't no mama ever gonna sit there and let her child be taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. So I'll do that.
I can see how that's hard. I can't even handle one.
Yeah, but you know, for me, the part of it that interests me is the full transparency piece. Like, I feel like you are sometimes in a relationship where your partner has another partner and you're not aware of it, right?
Right.
So for me, the appeal when it was introduced to me was the full transparency. Everybody is going to know fully what's going on with everybody. Everybody is going to have to sit down and have these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody's moving without the other person being aware of how we're moving.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that sounds good until
you get to doing it.
Until you have to do it.
And that was the thing too.
And I wasn't even the problem.
But why would I'm curious with you, because I don't see, like, you personality wise and how you are in a relationship, why you thought you would be okay with the polyamorous relationship.
Because for me, I guess as I got older and you've been through so many different relationships that there was cheating going on and stuff going on behind your back.
I don't think men are supposed to be monogamous. I don't think they're equipped to. I just don't think they're
Their
born
mindset, yeah.
to be monogamous. But
And that could be true. So, because, you know, for
Do you
me,
think that's just for men or for humans?
I think for humans, period. You know, like, just, and this is coming from a person that's been in a relationship for over 20 years. You know, like, there's always going to be, as they say, the grass is greener. There's always going to be, you know, a situation that you might, you know, think, and then, like, of course, too, you know, like, I was kind of like, you know, I guess you would say, like, bi-curious, you know, so it was, like, not so much the men, you know, like, and it's not to say that I was walking up down the street, like, oh, yeah, I fuck her, you know, it wasn't like that, but, like, you know, like, it was just, like, the fantasy of, you know, loving two people, you know, like, and I had, like, went through a lot of ups and downs with my husband, you know, like, my husband has another child outside of our marriage. There's a lot of other things earlier on in our years that we went through that we survived. So at the time, it was kind of like, that was just like my, okay, bet. We finna be honest, okay, bet. You know, like, if this what it's gonna take.
that kind of reminds me of The Shy. Well, do you watch The Shy?
Mm-mm.
Okay, see, there's a couple in The Shy that are actually going through that right now. They're married, And she found out about an infidelity, but it was before their marriage. But it was somebody that should have totally been off limits to him. And so when she found out, she was like, okay, bet. So we finna have an open relationship. You know, I'm gonna see who I want to see, you see who you want to see. But now they're at the point where she's setting the rules of their open relationship, but the rules are not benefiting him. They're benefiting
Well, he
her.
just mad that she fucking on
Right.
somebody.
That's true too. But yeah.
Not him.
So I can see how you would think that with my personality, but here was the appeal. The appeal for me was no lying. I despise lying. Like, lying for me is so detrimental to my well-being. You know, so if I can be in a relationship with someone who's going to be 100% honest with me, like if you see a woman you're interested in, you like her, no, we smoke.
Every day.
All right, we smoke. Look,
Every hour.
yeah. You said on the hour. So for me, it was a way to have.
It's not, it on your face. It's like a wind. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
That's so real.
What?
Like,
What happened?
Right. So for me,
what was different?
for me, it was like you said, the fantasy of it. So the fantasy, the ideal aspect of it was.
So were all you guys were in a relationship, or
Well,
was just
well,
like,
no. So a lot of it was.
Yeah, I don't think she know your story.
No, you don't. So a lot of it. So I met this guy, and to not put a timeline on it, we're not gonna put a name on him.
Okay.
So I met this guy, and it was like a whirlwind romance. Like, we fell in love real fast. And so the story that he was telling me was that he had a friend, you know, I want you to meet my friend or whatever. And, you know, it was kind of like, oh, and here's something that I've been considering for my life, right? So what do you think? And I'm like, well, you know, I'm monogamous. So kind of run me through how this is going to work, right? And so I'm like, I don't, if I do this, I don't want to date anybody else. I would be for you. And he was kind of like, you'll be for me. So you want to be monogamous, then that's cool, because it's not your thing, really. You'll be for me. And then, you know, I have a woman that I'm interested in, you know, pursuing this with as well. Well, what I didn't know, where he was parading her into my relationship with him as like his best friend, they really have been like, I think they would, I guess you would have kind of considered them swingers. So they were kind of in a relationship together, but she had another partner that lived with her. When we were in it, like, I was like, I need to talk to somebody who knows how this works, because for me, I feel like I'm being played, you know. So then when it comes,
that's a very natural feeling to have.
so now he's telling me that this is something we want to try. This is like my best friend, right? I tell her everything about you, you know, like, cause it's my best friend, right? So I'll tell her everything about you, and you know how I'm in love with you, and this, that, and the other. And then come to find out, her and I, our first introduction to each other, one, she's not supposed to be here. So it was on some old...
So you're already thinking, okay, this weird, dude.
Right. So for me, I wasn't really tripping that she showed up. But it was the energy that she showed up with was on some, she don't really know what's real. I'm the HNIC here. And because where I'm thinking, I'm his main partner, right? So then she comes and she, at the event, so through the whole event, me and her are sitting next to each other. And she's just really like, I feel like he's lying to you. I don't feel like you know the whole truth. And I'm like, enlighten me. You know, so... So I'm like, enlighten me. So apparently they were engaged, right? He told me none of this. So whereas I'm thinking I'm entering into a full transparency relationship where we're going to, like, when I tell you somebody, I feel like I was being played, because I'm going into this eyes wide open, like a little, I mean, like, you know, like a little kid, like, well, not really eyes wide open. I'm going into it blind, right? Because for me, it was kind of like, I don't know. But the appeal was the full transparency. I need full transparency in my relationships. So when you've been lied to so much and a person is offering you 100% truth, this is me. Yeah, when this is me, this is my life, this is who I am, that is appealing AF, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, so then he starts to explain to me, you know, this is what it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to work. Now, none of this is even started yet. It's just an idea until I met her. And now, oh, she's not his best friend. She's his fiance, right? And yeah.
What did she do with her partner?
See, that's the thing. So now I don't know the truth because I've had a conversation with her. So she was one of these people
Getting
that.
this tree cut down. I'm sorry.
No,
Things
it's okay.
Just fly everywhere. I have to
What day you
vacuum.
told me? Because I would still been drinking like nothing.
I mean,
It's
I
okay.
still do. It's still nature, but
Yeah, because they get in my glass.
I'm
But it's
sorry,
okay.
y'all.
I'm not tripping.
I don't see no.
But just because it's not in your glass. But you know when the glass is out here. But that's the thing,
in a minute
though.
we're not even gonna care.
True
I
story.
think
I'm not gonna
married.
drink it, but I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna take it out.
I'm a
So, no,
Gotta be me.
no, no.
what was that? Oh, a little piece of leaf. Okay.
So, I was bamboozled, and I felt that when the situation was all said and done.
Okay, let me pause you.
Mhm.
So when the details were given to you, and at that moment you felt okay, there was some deception. You know, like you wasn't all, like you said, as your words, he wasn't all the way transparent. And now she's coming in like, let me fill you
Filling in the gaps.
Let me tell you, girl, who I am.
Right.
You know, like, so how did that make it go? So how did that not just like
Did he
separate
ever
you?
give you the full details?
No, he never admitted to any of it. Right?
Not admitting
So-
to what he lied to, but at least give you the full details of what's going
No,
on.
he never told me his truth. And that was when I walked away. Because for me, our growing relationship was 100% based off of full transparency, and you broke that deal. You know, and then on top of that, when I kind of got to the point, after that, I kind of got to the point where, okay, she mad. He has not, so what he had been telling me.
And this is all in the same night. This is still the same
Well,
night.
no, this is not the same night.
Okay.
So, but what he,
So how did that night end? I'm just curious.
that night
I'm
ended
sorry.
with me pretty much trying to process.
So you went home by yourself?
No, we went to his house.
Okay.
And she
the
went
two
to
of
her
you.
house. Mhm, me
Okay.
and him.
No. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
We went to his house. She went to her house.
Gotcha.
You know, so, because it was interesting though. Like, after all of that stuff hit the fan, then it was kind of like, oh, well, her partner moved out and doesn't live with her anymore. And now she want me to move in. And I'm like...
Was this partner male? Or
Her
female?
partner was a man.
Okay.
Right? But I think she is bisexual. You know, so I think when they would play, it would be situations where, because then all of that stuff started to come out. So after I guess I never really got the full truth until that day. And then she started to fill in the gaps.
The day she popped up.
The day she popped up.
So
Because
she
wasn't
popped
supposed to be
up
there.
with an
Mhm.
agenda.
Yes, I appreciated her. And that's one of the things that I told her when we had a conversation, me and her, is that I appreciate you for being honest with me. Because I'm now realizing that this whole time, he had been lying to me. Where he was lying to me,
What was
giving
the
me
lie?
bits and pieces
That he was not with someone
that he wasn't
else?
with someone,
Okay.
that he wanted me to be his primary partner
Mhm.
in this thing that he's trying to figure out. Because this is something that he desires, it's something he wants for his life, it's something that he's always been interested in. And then also even the playing that they did, because you portrayed her as your best friend to me, which was supposed to have been a platonic relationship. So you paraded her into our relationship as a platonic best friend. So of course, when I meet her, I'm gonna think, oh, this is just his best friend, because I had met her prior to that. No, I had talked to her on the phone. So she FaceTimed him one day. We were sitting there eating or whatever. She FaceTimed him.
So when you seen her, you knew who she was. Oh, that's
When I saw her, I knew it was her.
Oh, that's the BFF.
Yep, I knew she was the BFF. So when she called FaceTime one day, and then so he was kind of acting real shifty. And then so they were on the phone, and so I'm like, I'm about to, sit down and eat. And so, because it's just your best friend, whatever. I ain't think nothing of it. So he was like, well, you can say hi. This is what he was saying to her. You can say hi. And then so she was like, okay, so now when this is the vibe, I'm thinking this your best friend.
So I think they knew what they want. They wanted to be polygamy, and she was with it, and they were just trying to figure out how to get you on board. Is what it sounds like to me.
It could be. And then, but the thing about it though, But the thing about it though,
Is that what it sounds like to you? It sounds like.
It sounds like she knew of her, but she didn't know of like the position he wanted her to play.
Gotcha.
yeah. And so that's kind of what I thought too. So then it was interesting because that
Especially
day,
if she's not gonna be like fully open, like where we're gonna be having threesomes or whatever. I'm gonna be in a full
Right.
relationship.
oh yeah,
She was just
because
supposed to be for him.
right, I was just
I
gonna be
don't
for
think
him.
the other
I don't
girl
think she was with
aware of
that. Right. So then with the
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they were thinking that she was thinking it was gonna be
Yep.
right,
Yeah.
right.
and
Okay.
it's because she's
throuple type of
bisexual,
thing.
right?
Right.
So and it's interesting because when she came to the event, the first thing she said when she saw me is, "Wow, if I could have built the perfect woman for him, it would have been you." And I'm like, "What does that mean?"
I
And she
would've
was
been so
like,
confused.
"She was like, no, you're perfect for him." And I'm like, "Okay," because now see, I'm still thinking this is best friend, right? So she's like, "You're perfect for him. If I could have built the perfect woman for him, it would have been you." And I'm like, "Okay," I'm thinking, "Okay,
Right.
you know, we're gonna be cool. All right."
Okay.
You
BFFs.
know, I'm saying,
we all
you want to be
friends.
my BFF too?
We all friends.
So then, he basically told me after all of that,
Y'all about to have me drunk.
that I was in.
That's why I gonna have you drink, child, because
This
I'm
is
like,
good.
I'm trying like, I don't want another glass. I want to chill.
Oh no, we did. Oh, we did, yeah.
I'm
But so-
ready.
but so he-
I got a bottle of water. You want a water?
Oh no, I always bring a jug of water. It's right here. I got
So
it.
yeah, he was basically like after the fact that she was intimidated by me as a person and as a woman going to be in his life, and she felt like she was going to lose him to me, right? So she did not. So then it was even text messages he showed me where she basically told him, "Get rid of her. I don't want her." Like, and I'm like, "I wasn't for you." You know what I'm saying? It was bad. It was bad.
Because I
Samaya.
feel like she would have lost him.
She definitely would have.
Ours kind of ended kind of bad too, and the bad thing about it is that we all still work together.
Oh
Ooh,
shoot.
that is something.
But the advantage that I have is that you are working in our show.
It's your business. hmm
So yeah, well yeah.
I mean, let's welcome the people to the show.
We didn't do that yet.
No,
How
we
gonna
didn't.
do that?
So, hopefully, well, hey y'all, hey. Y'all haven't seen us in a while, but it's TNT here.
And Kai.
And with us today, we have the beautiful, the lovely Simyia. Hey.
What's up, y'all?
So, you guys have already seen a couple of snippets of the conversation and the conversation that we're going to bring to you. So, we're just doing a little wine and girl chat right now as a interview style for our teabag segment. So, you know, we know you guys haven't seen us in a while. We haven't seen y'all in a while, but welcome back. We back.
Hey, hey, hey.
And so we're doing something a little different for the tea bag this week. It's going to be interview style. So we're going to be interviewing the lovely Simyia. We're going to hear her story, and then we're going to ask her a couple of questions. And the topic for the tea bag segment today is polyamorous relationships. How
In the
do
Black
you
community.
polyamorous relationships in the Black community, and how do you make them work? So we're going to let Simyia tell you her story, and we're going to ask questions because I'm interested. And, you know, after, you know, I don't know if y'all saw the Red Table Talk segment. Did y'all see the Red Table Talk they did about polyamorous relationships?
Yes, and I loved it, how open they were and comfortable they were with the daughter's decision.
Mm.
So
See, that was the part that I did like
Well, with Willow.
with Willow.
she
because
just,
she said she
just flat
wants,
out said she wants both energies around her,
Yep.
and her mother and her grandmother was like,
they didn't get it. Yeah.
well, yeah, at first it took them a minute
I
to
don't
figure
think
it out.
Gabby
Yeah,
never
Gammy
did
didn't get
nothing. Gabby be like,
Gammy don't be with it. I love Gammy.
But no, but towards the end of the relation, or towards the end of the interview, from my feelings, it got from that they respected it. You
Mhm.
know, like
Yes.
I mean, what can you do?
Nothing.
you know, and
Yep.
the openness of being able to, because it's one thing to do things behind closed doors. It's another thing to own it.
Yeah.
You
Living
know,
your
like
truth.
you
I
gotta live
appreciate
in
that.
your truth. So
And that's one of the things I love
that
about
was what's up.
that's one of the things I love about you. So how did we get here, right? So I had played around in the idea of polyamorous relationships, and you know, for me it was kind of like I felt so naive, I felt so gullible, I felt like I didn't really know too much about it. And when I did want to learn a little bit more or be educated, So this was actually the first person I wanted to call. Now, I didn't know her full story, but I had kind of put some pieces together, put two and two together, and I felt like I really believed that she would be able to educate me on what I need to know to decide if it's for me, if it's something I should move forward with, or if not. So full transparency moment, TNT, I thought about it, you know, but with the Red Table Talk episode, I was really geeked about that episode, but I felt like there were so many holes in that episode. I felt like they could have explored a little bit more. I know there was a time period, but the couple that they had on there, those two people, I felt like they didn't really know what they were doing. I felt like they were kind of meandering their way through the process. And I'm like, I guess it opens the door for people to know a little bit about it or understand a little bit about it. But I just want more. Here's more.
Dun, dun.
Okay.